Instead of jails, we need people to build places for people to be positive, play chess, and play basketball.
Build schools that empower children, young people with financial, economic growth, and well as a knowledge of history and ancestors.
Build community schools with resources for families and teaching children to apply what they learn to solve real community problems.
Instead of building more jails, people should invest in mental health care facilities.
People should invest in building new schools and putting more funding into it.
Instead of building another jail, people should fund schooling as well as arts programs.
Instead of building another jail, we should invest more into mental health programs in schools.
Instead of building a new jail, we should not build nice shit downtown, and we should build up other parts of Detroit.
Instead of a new jail, we should build a large facility for healing, rehabilitation, and accountability with free healthcare and childcare.
Instead of a new jail, we should invest in community accountability programs and facilities, therapists, educators, conflict resolutions, mediators, decentralized conflict resolution facilities, and these facilities will be in every district in the city of Detroit.
Instead of a new jail, we should build fully funded daycare centers.
Instead of building a new jail, we need to fund teacher professional development around restorative practices.
We have the natural mental capacity to heal our community once we learn how to apply self-care.
As we apply self-care, the other thing that we can use that money for in our communities is to reestablish community centers, healing centers for our brothers and sisters so we can deal with our genetic and historical trauma.
Instead of a new jail, I would have training programs to support young people to use the resources of the earth.
Instead of building the new jail, involve young people in telling their stories through film, music, and other supports.
When we close the prisons, finding ways to support and mentor those who are leaving the prisons so they know their own dignity and know their gifts.
Instead of a prison or jail, we should build a place to house mediation and meditation, an oasis of help.
Instead of new jails, we need housing and no homelessness, free, rapid, efficient, fully funded transportation, and more neighborhood venues.
Instead of building a new jail, we need to fund farms, free schools, libraries, food stores, and food forests.
Instead of new jails, we can invest in treating trauma inside the community.
People have psychological traumas that needs to be heard so they can vent without harming others. So instead of a new jail, we should build a center that will address those needs.
Instead of a new jail, we need centers in every community that addresses the needs of the community.
Instead of a new jail, we need public transportation that is quick, reliable, and spans the whole community in the city.
Instead of a new jail, we need full pensions for public school teachers and equitable wages.
Instead of a jail, we need community court. When I talk to the kids after they go through the court system, there's this tremendous sense of worth, and they think about, like, I did that.
Instead of a new jail, we need community healing spaces for both physical and mental and spiritual health, where people aren't stigmatized for what they're carrying, but they find healing services at the intersection of traditional and more quote-unquote modern healing services.
Instead of jails, we need to own more land where we can build community spaces, where we can really practice restorative justice and build in systems that make us all feel safe and heard and seen.
Instead of building jails, we should invest in education and restorative justice practices by way of programs that support educators, that support parents, and the arts and cultural programming for children so that they know their roots, because obviously when people know their culture, they're more confident and able to be more productive citizens.
Instead of continuing the archaic practice of enslaving people who society have failed, we should provide research-based programs that go towards building healthy communities by educating not only children in schools but parents, creating food programs in schools that have non-GMO, healthy, organic foods, and having a green, sustainable building that is solar-powered.
Instead of a new jail in Detroit, we should fund bringing back conflict resolution in Detroit schools.